Nigeria's Debt Market Management Office is offering 200 billion naira in its August 2025 bond auction. Now, the auction will see 100 billion naira each for the reopening 5-year July 2030 and 7-year June 2032 tenor. Now, Chuka Nwachukwu, chief dealer and head of trading at UBA, joins us now for a weekly market update of the fixed income and FX market. Now, Chuka, now 200 billion naira now up for grabs in the August bond auction. Now, let's look at how investor sentiments will be towards this. Looking at how well the sentiment was in the July auction. Now, what do you expect for August?
Okay, so if you watch, you notice that there are just 2 maturities as against 3 maturities. So what we've seen so far in the bond market is many times most of the figures that were maturing were not the same amount that was sold. However, most times you see that subscription is well above that, and that is because this period of the year the bond yields are always on the decline, and then of course how investors' appetites are. So most times it's the best time for most investors to take profit since the yield had declined, which means that the price has gone up. So the sentiment, for the past 2-3 weeks has been on the 2033 bonds, and that's why you've seen that throughout last week and this week that's been one of the investors' delight. And now that we have 2 new, one is coming in, the 2030. I think the investors' sentiment will still be within that range. Yeah.
And talking about liquidity at this moment now, let's look at the OMO maturity we had earlier, I think on Tuesday, and then we also had Wednesday's primary market auction as well. Walk us through the results there and how much of a liquidity dip we have at this moment.
So the last time I was here, that was last week, I said that this month is going to be a very liquid month. So we in total we have about 2.4 trillion in terms of OMO maturity, NTB maturity, as well as coupon payment from the bond side. So this week market liquidity is between 800 to 1 trillion, positive. So that was why we saw the OMO auction for today. So yesterday there was an NTB auction where about less than 300 billion was offered. About 296 was sold. So what we saw a significant increase in the stop rate, especially the 1 year. So we saw it printed around 17 levels, which obviously was far below, far higher than what it printed the last time, which was around 16.5 levels. And so liquidity has played a major key role in the fixed income market this week. And so today, CBN, of course, reacted due to the OMO maturity. About 856 billion in mature today. And then they offered about 600 billion. The result just came out about 2 minutes ago. And then about over 1 trillion was sold. So you can see that the market is reacting to excess liquidity in the system.
Interesting to see how this liquidity is shaping out. I mean, we're just in Q3 now, and then we're hoping that by Q4 we'll see it. But let's move over to the currency market right now. We're seeing some level of appreciation right now for the Naira against the dollar right now. And then also intervention state now. So walk us through how the intervention has been so far in this quarter, and looking at the fact that this is a period where demand is usually very high, what should we expect?
Yeah, so it's remarkable that this period demands are always very high due to demand from people, school fees payment, medical payment, and all that. So, but what we've seen so far is that the FX market has been stable for the past 6 months. But over the past 2 months, we've seen it stable around 1530 It's currently trading around that level, 1530, 1534 levels. Okay, so the stability obviously has to do with the inflows from FPI. Last week when I was here, I wrote out what FPI's investment has been over the past 6 months, or whatever, 5.6 billion had come in. However, the only problem is the fact that of course, these are hot money, they don't stay. Yes. So, but then the CBN also must be giving credit for the stability. You know that the governor's, one of his primary target is price stability. And then he's constantly continue to fight that, especially with inflation. And you can see that the inflation figure is declining, you know, is around 21 levels. Yeah.
All right, we're just a few weeks to the September MPC meeting, so we'll see how well this will shape the outcome of the meeting. That was Chuka Nwachukwu, Chief Dealer and Head of Trading at UBA.